certain types of asexual reproduction. Already we have discussed about how DNA replication affects reproduction and what is the importance of variation. And now today we are going to discuss certain types of asexual reproduction. So already we know that asexual reproduction produces very similar organism which can be called as clones. Very minor differences will be there due to error in DNA replication and all. So various types of asexual reproduction exist, and today we will discuss some of them. Now the first and foremost type of asexual reproduction which is known to us also, it is fission. Clear, it may be binary fission, it may be multiple fission. So various types of fissions are there. Fission means it is the division. Now fission, division of the cell. Clear? So here we will consider the division of the cell. Now fission mainly occurs in the organism which are unicellular. So keep in mind, fission occurs in the organism which are unicellular, where the cell divides and the two daughter cells now acts as a new individual. It is not that always cells divides into two, sometimes it may divide into numerous also. So let us have a look on various types of fission. So first of all we will consider the fission where binary fission, that means where the single cell divides into two. And we all know for binary fission, amoeba is a very cute example where first of all the genetic material, that is the nucleus divides the clear into two, and finally the cell proliferates, nucleus constricts and divides into two, and finally there is the cytoplasmic division, and by which the cells breaks up into two individual, and you can see here two individual. Now what's the importance is that amoeba we know that amoeba do not have any proper shape. So in binary fission in amoeba there is no proper plane, that means will it divide longitudinally or it will divide horizontally. There is no such proper plane. It can divide in any plane, as there is no proper cellular structure of the cell or definite shape of the cell, so it can divide in any plane. Clear? So next we will consider another binary fission. Here also the cell divides into two, but the thing is that it divides in only one plane. That means here you can see here, this is the cell. It occurs in various organisms like Leishmania. Clear, here is the cell, clear, with the flagella. Now the cell will not divide in this plane, clear, not in horizontal plane. It will always divide in longitudinal. This is the plane in which it is dividing. So ultimately in the by longitudinal division the nucleus will divide into two. By longitudinal division the cytoplasm will divide into two, and finally it will form two daughter cells. So here the division is specific in its plane. The division will always be in the longitudinal plane. Now we know that Leishmania is very important because it is a disease causing organism and causes Kala-Azar. Now another another type of fission is the multiple fission. You can see a single cell divides into numerous. A single cell divides into numerous small cell with nucleus in each. Clear? So here a single cell divides into numerous daughter cells, and finally each daughter cell have the potential to grow into a new individual, and these we can see in Plasmodium. I think you have heard the name Plasmodium. It is a protozoan, and it it is very important in disease causing organism which causes a very dreaded disease called malaria. So in plasmodium we find multiple fission where a cell divides into numerous small cells, and finally each cell can develop into new individual. Where we find it? We find in plasmodium. It is a protozoan causing malaria. Clear? So one thing you notice that amoeba, leishmania, plasmodium, all are basically protozoans. So this fission is very common. It is already we have learned that it occurs in the unicellular organism, and another thing is that it occurs mainly in the protozoan. The protozoan group undergo fission. Clear? The next important mode of asexual reproduction is budding. I think you are aware of budding. Clear? So here a small protuberance develops. This protuberance ultimately grows and finally gets detached from the main body and develops into new individual. Now this budding, here you can see it is occurring in unicellular organism. So budding in unicellular organism, the example is yeast or Saccharomyces. Clear? Scientific name of yeast is Saccharomyces, known to you. So here also the nuclear material first of all replicates and divides into two, and then the small part moves into a small cytoplasmic mass, and that forms a protuberance, and finally it gets detached and develops into new individual. But it is not that the budding always occurs in unicellular. Budding also occurs in multicellular, like that of the hydra. In hydra we find that small protuberance. It is a multicellular organism where also similarly small protuberance appear, and this protuberance ultimately develops into new individual and finally gets detached from the main plant body. So budding also occurs in that we will discuss later vividly, because now we are mainly concentrating on the unicellular organism. Now next is the multicellular but not very differentiated cells. Here cells are very much similar, and in this type of organism we find fragmentation. So multicellular but all cells are similar. There is no differentiation in the cells. Clear? So in this type of organism we may find another mode of asexual reproduction, which is the fragmentation. So fragmentation, what happens in fragmentation? As suppose in Spirogyra we find these are the cells. Clear? They have the ribbon like chloroplast, you can see here, nucleus. They are green, photosynthetic. Now they are filamentous. When the filament of the Spirogyra matures, then only a part of it get broken off, and that part finally divides to form a new plant body. So very important thing is that it occurs in a very simplified multicellular organism where the cells are more or less similar, and after the fragmentation occurs after the maturity of the organism. After the organism attains its maturity, then only the certain parts gets broken off from the main plant body and finally develops into new plants. So two things are very important. One is the very simplified body organization, and without any demarkable differentiation of cells, and also the fragmentation will occur after the organism attains its maturity. So these are very important for this. Now we are going to discuss the asexual reproduction in multicellular organism. Now multicellular organism with very distinct differentiation of cells. Clear? Now how it is possible that a type of cell can produce all types of cell? Clear? So a total new individual. Now So it is not a very simple cell division. Certain cells of the multicellular organism, they are capable of growing and proliferating, making other cell types when they are in right circumstance. So it is not that the all cells have the capability to grow a individual, because there are various differentiation of cells, there are division of labors. So certain cells have this capability where they can grow and proliferate and make other cell types when they are in right circumstances. So it is, since we know that in multicellular organism the division of labor occurs, differentiation is there in the cell and division of labor occurs. So it is the function of certain cells, not all cells, it is the function of particular certain cells which, so it's the specific function of certain cells which will develop, which has the ability to develop any other types of cells, and finally it develops into new individual. Clear? So not all cells are equally active in asexual reproduction in a very well differentiated multicellular organism. So at first it is regeneration. What is regeneration? Regeneration is the capability of certain cells to produce certain parts of the whole organism. So regeneration is the capability of certain cells to produce certain parts of the whole organism. Now mind that it is some specialized cells are there. Some specialized cells are there which have this capability of regeneration. Clear? Now what happens during regeneration? So first of all, certain specialized cells, clear, these specialized cells divides and redivides to form a mass of cells, and from this mass of cells there is differentiation, and which forms various types of cells, and finally the whole organism. Clear? So we can see in planaria, it's a very cute example of regeneration. I think you all know it. So in planaria, when it is cut, the body is cut into different fragments. Clear? Each of this part can regenerate into a new individual. So planaria, there is extreme high regeneration capacity. Each and every part has the specialized cells which can grow into various types of cells and forms a new individual. Now another thing which I want to discuss during regeneration is that regeneration, not only this capability of regeneration is not only it is that always they are producing new individuals. Sometimes we see that regeneration, these cells which have the specialized cells which have this capability of regeneration, they produces certain parts of the body. Like in starfish, if one arm is broken, it has this ability to regenerate that arm. In lizard, we can see if the tail is somehow cut off, then that they have these specialized cells to regenerate the cells. So it is not that the whole organism will be regenerated in each and every condition. Clear? There are certain conditions where a part of the organism will be regenerated from specialized cells. In our body, our liver has certain cells which to some extent can regenerate. So liver cells can regenerate other new liver cells. But one thing you must keep in mind, that regeneration is not an ordinary mode of reproduction. It is not a normal course of mode of reproduction. It is an accidental condition when the parts get broken off, and then only it regenerates. So it is not a normal mode of reproduction, it is an accidental case. So that this is how it differentiates. It is different from fragmentation. In fragmentation, like in Spirogyra, which we have discussed, clear, there the fragmentation is a normal mode of reproduction, but regeneration, which is occurring in different organisms like planaria and all, it is not that normal mode of reproduction. It is only accidentally, if they get broken off, then only they will regenerate. Clear? So that is very important. So how it is different from fragmentation. Next is the budding. Already we have discussed budding to certain extent in the unicellular organism like yeast. And here we are going to discuss the budding in multicellular organism like Hydra. Clear, you can see here Hydra is a multicellular organism with tentacles and the body, cylindrical body here. Now here what happens, here also protuberance, certain specialized cells. Here the budding occurs by certain specialized cells. These specialized cells divides to form a outgrowth. Clear, with these outgrowth develops and finally develops to certain extent into a and then get detached from the main body and finally grows into new organism. So this here in multicellular organism, budding occurs by some specialized cells. Not all cells are capable of production of buds and growth into new individual. So repeated division of certain specialized site will give to the outgrowth and that will develop into new individuals. So this is about the budding in Hydra, that is in multicellular organism. Now here we are going to discuss another mode of asexual reproduction, that is spore formation. This is also very common in certain organisms like fungi. Clear, and many other plants also spore formation is very common. Now what happens in this? Now in fungi we'll find that the main plant body of the fungi, it is very thread-like, fine thread-like structures which are lying horizontally to the ground. These are fine thread-like structures which is growing horizontally to the ground. But during this asexual reproduction, that is spore formation, certain vertical hyphae grows vertically upward. This hyphae grows vertically upward. This type of fungi are generally, and these numerous nuclei along with the cytoplasm, they moves to this portion swells and it forms a structure called sporangium. So numerous nuclei along with the cytoplasm, nuclei move to this portion at the tip and tip gets swollen, it is called sporangia. The nucleus gets encircled with cytoplasm and forms the thick walled spores. So what is spores? Spores are very tiny, thick walled unicellular structures, clear, which is meant for reproduction. And not only reproduction, it also helps in perennation. In adverse conditions, this thick walled spores helps in perennation also. Now this sporangia, when matures, the wall disintegrates and the spores are liberated. Each spores can germinate into new individual. Now you can see in bread mold, that is Rhizopus. Clear, often you will find that when bread are affected by fungi, if you keep the bread in a moist condition for 1 or 2 days, you will find at first there will be a slippery white, it will remain white, but it is a bit slippery. It will become bit slippery, that means hyphae is growing. Then it will form bluish green, clear, so they are forming the spores and sporangia and all, and finally it will become black. So when these are becoming black, that means this sporangia has been burst out and they have released the spores. So these spores, when get suitable condition, that is moist condition, it develops into new individual. So this is about the spore formation, which we commonly find in the bread mold or Rhizopus.